Alright, so hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We are moving on from the sketch yesterday. After staring at it a bit, there are no major problems at the current stage. So we're gonna go ahead with the rough. So the fun thing with the rough this time is that ideally what I should do is create a couple of varied frames for some of the end motions. So a couple of them will just be the head, a couple of them will require the arms, and a couple of them that will require the arms will probably drain my sanity very quickly because it's going to require hands. But beyond that, that is kind of the plan at the moment. So for all intents and purposes, we're not going on to the line art portion, the actual piece, individual piece portion for a while. Where are we? Are these all different colors? Or did I not make them all different colors? Did not. Did I decide on the color qualities? Kinda did. Can I just grab like specifically? And we'll just plop that into here. What is this? Wait, no, this is already changed. Let me just grab a green. Give me. Pop that straight into here, and then over here, give me the orange. We'll just plop that into here. Okay. So for all intents and purposes, we're gonna just ignore the motion plan for a little bit. Turn. Yeah. Okay, I think at this point we know who's who, so I'm just gonna get rid of the ticks up here. That's labeling each of them. So that down to there, and Kurumi right there. Okay then. I have Kurumi open because I was working on a emote of her, so let's just start with her, shall we? Alright, so one thing I probably should have practiced more is actually just how to do expression. But I'm gonna create a head base that where it's relevant we'll use it, where it's not relevant we'll have to redraw the whole head entirely. I think for the current spot we can just do a base head here. What are we looking at here? A little bit messy, but over the top of the head, sure. Anything else I should know? Not really. What am I looking at for this? Let me just make sure nothing is going. Because things are definitely not cooperating before. Why is that there? Why is that? Okay. kind of like really wave her hair out, or just drop a bunch of her hair kind of straight down here. Where would we root her hair from? How aggressively do I want to curve this back? And that's a giant eraser. One of those, I warp this into like a bit here, just make it a little bit messy. Oh, what did I do here? Actually, that's fine. I'm gonna warp this a little bit further down. Make it really kind of fold back into her head. Down to her eyes, basically down to her eyes, so... at this point, we still don't require the full high-definition details. I think I need to bring this up a little bit, actually, to where I kind of have it. A little bit, then... This needs to be pretty wide, right? Go a little bit wider here. Make a real puff out here. We want to kind of curl this into her face. Make this down to her cheek. And then kind of just straight cut across from what around here, just straight cut it across. Give it a little bit of a break it up a little bit. Break it up a little bit more, and we'll just let's break it up one more time, like we just kind of add one more strand like right here. Then we want to pull this into her ear, which is about I'll pull this into her ear again. We'll kind of separate this out a little bit. Let's break this up a little bit, and then we want to pull this into her ear again, right about there. Want to pull this in a bit harder. Does this need to be a... Maybe through the back? No? No? Doesn't feel like it? We'll split her hair all around the back a little bit just to get the hair to her way her hair's like kind of done up a little bit. Be in a little bit more, should be like right here, and oh, a little bit earlier than that, a little bit earlier than that maybe. Yeah, that feels. We want to kind of pop this a little bit round though, so bring it back in a little as it comes down. Want to buff Oompa out of this here a little bit more. This is kind of like forward facing. Do something like that. This is a very simple base. There's no visible thing just keeping that together, is there? Nope, it just kind of sprouts out of there like magic. Sure. Let's see. I need a more noticeable like bump here. Oh. Bum, bum. Okay, is that good enough for her head for a moment? I'll do a body here, a body base. I'll probably have to draw the eyes entirely separate. Basically over the shoulder, right? Oh jeez. I kind of want to stand almost straight upright, given her posture. The collarbones are what, like around here somewhere. But this is what going on there. And they could be like a little bit further up. Around there somewhere. Does this have a symbol on it? No. Let me grab you. That little pocket has to be part of their equipment, right? Okay, we don't need the little pocket thingy. just need the actual pocket on the uniform, which would basically means that the where are we? This will come down like what before the seam of her body, which would be about here. This will just kind of like hang down and then bunch up. And then because she's leaning forward, this part will hang. So kind of just want to like do this about as straight down as we can. And just let this hang straight down. We'll just go something along the lines of what kind of this? Just do straight? Okay. Like kind of hang just like straight down, right? In the direction she's kind of facing. Kind of like that. We'll bring her loose, right? Loose. So kind of just let this what seem high. The seam should be high. Just like kind of let this hang off her body. And this goes down actually all the way down to her past her waist. Bring it in a little bit. Actually, I think we'll just hide it below the table. Okay, keep it loose, but let it go all the way down the table. There's a little pocket here that we can see clearly here. So this can more or less just hang. So this is more or less straight on rather than at an angle. And then we want to go like backwards. This is like relatively loose, right? So this will bunch up as we get down to the elbow. Kind of bring it forward. I'm gonna bunch it again as it gets. So do you want to bunch it along the top, or do we actually just want to like let it smooth along the top of the arm here? Maybe like a little bit of a pull down like this way. And then perspective-wise, we're looking at opening this about almost like maybe a little bit smaller than that. Effectively, that's what we want here. bum ba bum ba la ba bum. Maybe turn this actually a little bit more. It'll be. So what am I looking at here? I'm looking at the fists from... It should be flatter. A bit like that, maybe. Hold on through here. Okay, let me have a... How do we do hand? We want to go at this angle. Alright, let's make a new layer like a smart person. Hands. So we want the knuckle here, so... Let's say that her hand is sticking just out of the sleeve onto the surface here. We're looking down on the knuckles, so the hand itself will be going what? The knuckle will be what, like? Kinda like this, I think. At least, that's what, the palm. Like the palm is kind of going like this because you want to hold it up. Your thumb would be along here supporting from this side here, but the actual like fingers should be coming down. Should be like one joint, two joints, and then three joints. Back like that. Thumb would be along the side here. So we want to do a pink. You don't be blue for a bit. What could you be? You could be purple. Alright, time to lose my mind. Alright. Let me see if I can find a reference of a hand before I actually lose my mind. Oh, let me save some of these things I was looking at. I may come back to it. Oh, where's my hand references? And reference. Do we have some fist? It'd be very nice to have this exact fist orientation, but that will solve a lot of problems. Fist at this angle. Do I have a fist at this angle? Oh geez. I don't want a fully clenched fist. I kind of want like a relaxed fist, right? I guess a kind of claw-ish hand on the table also works. Did I already open this one? Maybe I did. It's part of a different part of this. Okay, for starters, let's just look at this. Oh jeez. Along with his hand needing to be like at least somewhat big. It should probably be closer to about this. Maybe a little flatter, but definitely a bit larger. Oh no! Hmm. So as the knuckle comes down, this will be so basically what looking at muscle A, muscle finger, really. Wait a minute, should it be more like this, where we're looking at the finger? More or less like you're bringing this out, you're bringing this almost just like straight down. Like out. And then just like straight down and in. So this will be going. What happens to the pinky if I do it like this? This would be in more. Oh, and you stick out one last finger down, like pass through here, bring this down, and then against table, and then bring finger in, and then we want to go That doesn't look completely insane for a hand, right? That's within sanity levels. It's not great, but it also doesn't look insane. I think that's kind of where we want to sit, at least for now. It's just not insanity. And then the thumb itself, we're looking at like a little bit of this, a little bit of this. The actual thumb is against the thumb here. We'll go. The nail of the thumb is actually like what, like right here-ish. I'm going. Okay, not complete insanity. We'll just turn this a little bit more so that something like that. Is that? At the very least, I can live with it for a little bit. Let's just pretend that we can't see the hand or the. Actually, I should probably stay here. I kind of need this thing. If the hand needs to. If the hand needs to move, the arm probably needs to move. Ideally, I think I would at least leave this hand static or with minimal motion. I'm probably still gonna do the fingers all separately, which is gonna still drive me insane, but I'd probably better if I keep the sleeve hole behind it just to make sure I know what I'm looking at. Okay, then hand number 2, because people have 2 hands or 2 arms. Well, ideally they have 2 arms. So we're kind of bringing the arms backwards and then forwards. So I think we're actually gonna have to bring this in a little bit to make up for the shoulder. This has to kind of like back up immediately. This is loose, so this can hang a little bit. Because we need to back the arm. Actually, no, we don't back the arm out. No, we don't arm out a little bit. So this is going to go out a little bit while also backing up. Because the actual shape here is going what? This, like this. Are you right? Kind of like a shape like that. But the arm's actually like about here. Out to about here, and then probably shouldn't just back it into the hip. Probably should be backed outwards, elbows out, right? You want to like put hands on table like this, and it's around rib level. Yeah, like if table around. You know what? I have a standing desk. I can just lower my desk a little bit down, just a bit, please. Okay, right about there. So. Or should I go more stomach level? Let's go stomach level. Down, come on. A little bit longer. Okay, stomach level around here. We want to put hands on the table here. Let me just make some space. Then we're leaning forward. Do we want elbows back or do we want elbows out? I think elbows out, right? Elbows in, it doesn't feel very natural. Go elbows out. Let me just bring my desk back up to regular height. I don't know how to do that without doing this and then doing this. Okay, so we'll bring the elbows out a bit. So and then this will what? This will pull back inwards. So this will pull back in towards the body. And then elbow is here, so we just kind of bring the arm like right. Should bring the arms in though, should bring the arms outwards. Let's just bring the arms forward. So bring kind of like about this will pull this way along the arm. And then the actual sleeve itself should probably be kind of in a little bit. This is almost like straight forward, but we can see the top of it. Kind of maybe like something like this. I'll do it like this for now. It's the preliminary, and then if it doesn't feel right, I'll change it later. Maybe a little bit more this way. And then we'll just kind of like let this hang. Then let's just bump out a little bit like that maybe. And then this will, let's just say like this hangs a little bit because this is a little loose. We'll just hang below the table or against the table. So okay, hand number 2. Alright, so this is more like a fist, like straight on, right? But on the other side. So I'm looking at my left hand, so let me just look this over. So I'm looking also at the left hand here. Okay, so basically Knuckle ends up like along the top here. Probably around like here, right? This would be like the front of the knuckle. Hand will come downwards. Something like this. The thumb needs to go like along here. Thumb itself needs to almost go straight forward, but not quite. How's that? Yeah, I mean bigger, but too big. A little tad small. We'll kind of try to do the same thing where we don't fully tense the fingers here. So we do want middle finger as the knuckle right at the top. So finger forward and then finger. We want to bring this out. It's just easier if this is pointed one way, right? So we'll go point like right about there. Bring the tuck the finger back in before it reaches the thumb, and then do we need to be able to see the finger in the side? Or finger ideally we just have like hand muscle here in this gap, right? We want to tuck this in a little bit, and then we'll get to the pinky. We want to tuck it in a lot. So something along the lines of that. We need to get the we say that the top of the knuckle is what we no, it's not gonna be what we see. We need to like a little bit of hand here at least. Just bring this down a little bit so that we are seeing like the hand through here. So we are seeing the top of knuckle about here, then here. Bring the hand through to like here. This needs to go. We want to just have the knuckle bit here. The thumb itself should be like what, like this, and then like. You know, it's not completely insane yet, so kind of work with this for a little bit. Something along the lines of this, right? And then this kind of pulls into the actual hand area. The actual hand is something like this. We're gonna pull that out of the sleeve a little bit. Not too big. Arm looks insane. It's not like that far off, it still looks quite insane. We need just like a little bit more flesh below the nail. Does that help? Actually helps surprisingly quite a bit. Alright, let's see. Clean this up a little bit. What do I want to do here? Okay, let's just leave that for a bit. Okay, so that's effectively what her body kind of needs to do for the purposes of what we need. So now we want to create some varied faces. How should we do this? Probably should have done the lower arm and the hands in a different order as well, but whatever. Neutral. Okay, give me a moment. Actually getting like stuffy in my room, you know, it's like super cold. Where are you over there? Oh, it's not like super cold, but it's getting colder. What should I do about a neutral face? I think for a neutral expression, we really want to express like the curvature here. I think. What do we want to do? We want to do a more surprised look. Do we want to raise this side rather than here, right? Wow, that looks way less insane than I thought it would. Regardless, let us also bring in the hair coming through like here. It should curve more. That looks the same. That's needed. It should hang more. Then there should be some here coming like over her body, like kind of like around here. She's leaning forward, so this should almost just hang. Maybe like a little bit of a bump onto her body, but just leave it like that for a moment. Just bring this like kind of down like what, like right here. Whoop, whoop! Don't do that. And then bring this into her armpit here. Okay, how do I feel about that? Okay, what kind of insanity have I created? Let's just turn this off. Wow, that's actually a lot less insane than I thought it was. Just split this a little, so it's a little visually easier to determine what I'm looking at here. Okay, so if I was to make a more excited look, then what will happen? Basically what we want to lift. I mean, I haven't done a particularly good job about raising the eye, but basically well, we'll be looking at more of a let me sit down. That was my cushion. Alright, you here. Stay. Okay. Oh, let me just chew down some chocolate I'm stress eating right now. So the fun bit is that, well, I guess now the good news is that my eye is fine. The bad news is that because of how long it takes for a doctor's appointment to actually like come through, I don't know what was actually wrong with it. Because it recovered before I could get to a doctor. The last time I had something similar happen, I was in Hong Kong, and they gave me pills to like deal with an infection. I don't know if it was the same thing. Because that time I actually could get to a doctor like straight away. So I actually still don't know what the problem was. It was actually only at its worst on Thursday. By Friday it was getting better, even though it was still a problem. Then over the weekend it was like getting better little by little. But yeah, the fun bit is I don't know why it happened, what happened, and how to prevent it happening the next time, which is, you know, it could become a problem when it comes down to it. I want the eyes to actually be bigger here. Could actually just like stretch down the eye portion here. A little bit. And also let us grab this and we'll just pull it in. Anyways, this is where I should do this whole spiel and be a good streamer person. Welcome to the stream. We're currently in the rough planning stage for, as you can see with the overflow, doing a full animation here. Well, that is the plan at least. The scale, or at least the scheduling for this is currently, I am putting myself in for a month. So instead of doing a week-long thing, this is targeting a month long. I'm doing some other stuff in my own time to keep putting stuff out. It's actually, I have it open here. I've just like started an emote so that I could just do some small things on the side. But I'm gonna try and get a whole ad animation done. Ideally, splitting the art portion and the actual animation portion in half so that the whole art stuff should be done within the 2 weeks. And then it'll be just modeling and animation for 2 weeks. It wouldn't be modeling animation for the full 2 weeks, it'll be modeling animation and whatever needs to be fixed during that period as well. I feel like what I have here is that... Actually, is this pointing down? Or does it need to point down more? Actually, I think that's fine. I think this needs to lift. Not you. You need to lift a bit more. And we need to set you... I can salvage this, right? Just like, ooh, pull you like up this way. And then we'll just kind of point this back down. Man, there's a part of me that's like, I probably shouldn't be complaining too much about medical stuff. Given that at the very least, any medical visit here doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Or was it every time I feel like the joint comes up with anyone from the States where, was it, you get in an accident, you get put into the ambulance, you get up and you run away from the ambulance because you aren't paying for that shit. Like, That's I feel like that joke is still running around pretty rampantly. It's just kind of really go like this into all this into here. Go like that. How do I feel about it? I feel like when I'm gonna do it like this side shouldn't lift as much. Like this should actually be more like, yeah, ooh. Yes. And we'll just yank this along this way a little bit, and we'll just put this out a little bit. Yeah, that kind of salvages it, right? Don't need to redraw the whole thing there. Maybe a little bit like right here. I want to keep that in the same spot. I kind of want to keep this in the same spot. Kind of want to keep this in the same spot. I just want to lift the front portion of the eye a bit. Okay, do we want to go smaller eye? I'm gonna round out the eye and make it smaller, right? I kind of want to like then for the brow, I think for the brow I actually want to like almost level the brow then. You this way. Oh gee. Yeah. I don't know what I choked on, but that should be fine. I want to lift this a bit, so we're gonna go. Let's just do it like that for now. And we want to bring this in, do that. Go a smaller, rounder eye. We want to bring the lower part of the eyelid down as well. Let's just bring this all the way up to the lash. And then we will go we'll just level out this part of the brow as well. I mean, I am kind of reaching the point where since I don't exactly take care of my health particularly well, I should be seeing more problems like in life in general. I should really do something to take care of my health better, but how do I feel about that? I should curve it a little bit more. I don't really want to do anything on the mouth here, do I? I change the neutral mouth a little bit. I don't want to use... Actually... Okay, how different does this actually look if I just go... Oh, it actually has a different feel to it. Okay, that's good. You know what, while we're at it, just make that different thing. What is this? A triangle? Oh, that is a lot simpler than I feel like I've had to deal with in a very long time. Triangle. So we're looking at wop, 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 right? Something like that, maybe. Maybe a little bit bigger than that. Maybe a little bit skinnier than that. And then there's like points on it where it goes wop, wop, and wop. And then it has a inverse triangle in the inside, so something like this, right? Given that they are limited gachas, I wouldn't put it past the banner directly after the event. Like, if it's a longer event, it's, you know, I don't think the event's particularly long. So there's two choices. One is the banner directly after the event. The second choice is the rerun. Because it basically means that they can just bring out a related character for the rerun of the event. I mean, the most likely is probably the rerun. I think what people would want would be the banner directly after. I mean, I feel like they've been pretty good about bringing out a character for the rerun. If they introduce a big group and don't bring them all out in one go, I feel like it's been pretty good about it. I mean, I feel like at this, like, at least in current or recent times, what's the most recent character that got added in just like a little later? Might have actually been Rena. But she just ended up starring in a separate event, well, like half a year after being introduced. See any others? The ones I'm thinking right now, like the Wild Hunt ones, because they're a bit newer. You know, they haven't done anything with, was it, not Sheena. Sheena was her family name. What was the last girl in the occult club? Where's Wild Hunt? Over to Mugi. You know, with the very vague bit of story that I did read, I felt like she was actually the first introduced. I think was it when you start the first Wild Hunt event. She was already acquainted with Sensei. Well, they brought out Mio and Fuyu, and then I think it was like the banner afterwards. It was like they brought Ritsu before the event ended. I can also take a quick peek into the game. I just have the launcher open. But how do I feel about this? Is there any levels of insanity here that I need to deal with? Okay, where's the motion plan? Let's have a look at the motion plan again. So obviously the ears will have to move with the head motion. I think that I need to resize the ears a little bit. I think they'd be more on the side of her head or less on the side of her head. The fox ears, right? So they should be on the top of the head. I need less noggin. I feel like I've got too much noggin here. Bring her head in just like a tad. Where's this? Grab the head area. We'll just bring this in a little bit. Tiny bit. Maybe about there. How far did I actually bring that in the end? Yeah, I can live with that. Here I was telling myself that I could get two of them done today with just the rough. That's not happening. Her ears like sit a little bit more to the side, aren't they? Well, let's just take a quick peek at this. Cause the banner is running until the 6th, and the event is running also until the 6th. Yeah, so I think the most likely will be a rerun, unless they star more story, because they did pretty much get like a whole story section to themselves. Oh, even though I don't know if Global's got this yet, but there was like a UI upgrade in the game which I actually like quite a lot. Like, all of the icons look a lot cleaner now. And I think, in terms of the excitement, that's really what in here, right? They've made space for a 6th icon. That's what Kaya was. Featured heavily in the story as well, I think. Was it before the UI upgrade here? I feel like there wasn't space for a 6th icon, but there's now space for a 6th icon. And the story tab doesn't take up an unnecessary amount of space, because that thing was huge. Yeah, I mean, I'm not usually like a big fusser about UI, but this UI looks a lot sleeker and also a lot clearer. Which, I mean, I guess I'm more of a functionality person, so if it's more functional, then I do like it a bit more than what it was before. Alright, where are we? Fashion us what the was that Tsukuyo and Michiru? How far back is that? Doesn't feel like that was that long ago. Is it still about like just under half a year behind? What are we dealing with here? We want to keep the hit around that spot. Let's go. How aggressively should his curve back into her head? Not that aggressively. And this should come down to her collarbone. Should just like pop back into her head. Then we want this to go around the side of her head and just down, right? Down and forward. I feel like I actually have this room. Actually, you know what? While I'm looking at this, let me grab Kurumi body head. I'm gonna grab this like whole section here and just go a little bit this way. I think the neck is actually too wide here. The neck is too wide. We can actually bring the neck in a little bit. I don't think I pulled during the ninja event, but they weren't limited. I mean, I'm actually reaching a point where I'm running out of gems. The Niko and Kurumi pulls were like pretty horrific. I think it's like the worst I've pulled in like a really long time. Apart from the anniversary where I did pull 3 banners to also get the limited Hoshino that was available again. I think it's like the first time I've actually pulled over 200 times. Or, yeah, pulled over 200 to get both characters. How many gems am I actually on? I mean, I'm still on like 12k, but I think I was down to like 8k before the actually started going through the event missions. And I've actually clicked through all of the story now. Not like I really knew of it. They had like a lot of story that I like had not touched. Okay, so I kind of want to bring this in here because we want to actually bring the hair around the arm. Just over the brow, so like pretty much down to the eye, pull it in towards the ear. Right down the middle, right? I actually want to bring this across a little bit more. Between the eyes. Not above the eyes. Yeah, like literally all the way down to between the eyes. It's like literally down to the eye. Hello there, I do take commissions. I don't know if I've updated the Twitch banner. Let me take a look actually. Now that you mention it. Where how do I get to Twitch quickly? Twitch. Let me just take a quick peek and see if I've updated the banner. I do have a VGen, which is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me nowadays. Let me just see where this goes. Does this go to VGen or does it go somewhere? Oh, it goes to VGen. Yeah, so the VGen's is the probably the easiest way to look at my commission stuff. The prices there for the most part are negotiable. And the service there more or less negotiable because I'm not verified. There'll be more of a thing where it'll just be based on discussions and agreements. I am open for commissions, and the information is all there in the banner. You know, on the phone, I don't know if it shows on the phone. I don't know what mobile Twitch looks like. What am I looking at here? I want to curl this back into her head, right? Relatively straight down, so we'll kind of go this back into head. We want to actually go out. In below eye, down the cheek, down the cheek's not here. Let's just say it comes out about there for now. We want one strand and down there. That's all good. I mean, I don't feel like most people look at the banner. It exists for the people who actually look for it. Like that. My presumption is that nobody actually looks at it unless they get notified of it. Want this to be a bit thicker? Let's make this a little bit thicker. And we want to pull it from the center of her head, which is probably, we don't want to root her hair from like about here, right? Probably around somewhere around there. So we want to kind of pull this across the front of the ear. Then we want to pull this down past the ear here. Then this is the backside. Her head is very mildly turned, so we'll bring this down next to her head here. We'll just curl this back in towards the collarbone, which should be about here. Pull this into here. And then we want to bring this down against her shoulder. Let me just make you a different color so I can see. You can, let me just see if I can grab this. Where's this orange? You grab this, not this orange green. Give me this green here. We'll just make her completely. You need this color. Glorious. Okay, so we're gonna bring. We do not have the head full region. character design. I put anything for like character art? Let me just change the currency so that I can see what I actually put. Which USD? I mean, a lot of it depends on what you're looking for as well, because it's also it's like from scratch. There's nothing, like you don't have a base yet. And how complex the overall thing needs to be. Yeah, but just different expressions. Depending on the complexity, I don't think there will be that much. As I said, the prices are more or less negotiable at this point, as I don't have the ability on VGN to actually have that many different services put up. Do I have my Discord on there? Ideally, I would not like to have the discussion in the Twitch chat. I would like to have the discussion in somewhere where I can keep tabs of what's actually being said by both sides. How do I share my Discord so that you can message me? I just copy the username. Is that how it works these days? Is it not a... There used to be like an ID number that was like way easier to find. Let's... Wow, it's literally just... I don't actually know if I'm logged into the Twitch chat inside OBS, so let's just see if I can send a message. So you can find me on Discord. Apparently it's just Fire, like that, PHIRA in lowercase. I don't know how you find people on Discord anymore because you don't have the ID. But if you can find me there and message me there, that would be more ideal. I feel like why do they make this harder to use? How do you find people on Discord now? I'll be finishing up stream in like 20 minutes, so let me focus on this until then I'll give you my full attention if you would still like my full attention at that time. Okay, so we want to bring her hair. Her hair's like pretty much straight, right? Is it the bag? Is the bag the thing making her hair straight? Okay, you know what? I have the game open, so let's just take a quick peek at the events here where she does not have a giant bag on her back. Let's see what they do with her hair here. You. Straight. Okay. Okay, so we'll bring her hair straight down until it gets down to her hip, which is not in view, so it's just hair literally just straight down, let it wave out a little bit. We want it to be visible on the other side, maybe like a little bit like down like around here. Maybe we'll just like start letting it wave out a little bit here as well at an angle. Okay, so her is kind of more on the side, aren't they? I want to go point them outwards a little bit more. More to the side. Was this actually about right, given that her head's like most of the way forward? No. We want this more to this outwards. Let's bring this out a little bit more. Let's bring this out a little bit more so it's more sideways. And then we'll go. Bring this in a little bit. Oh, whoa. Bring this in a little bit. Close off her head. Leave it like that for a moment. Let's just very quickly throw a halo into here as well. Okay, so circle, point, and then just go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just gonna grab this whole thing and we're going to pop it a little bit more this way. Then we're gonna grab the whole thing and we're just gonna shrink it a little bit, and then we're going to very casually flip it. It's facing the other way. Then we're gonna shorten you a fair amount. That's kind of what her halo's doing, right? Okay, then let's mess around with the body a little bit. You know, wait, just the head. Head, because cheek is right about here, so kind of want to just keep this relatively neutral, right? Just keep it like right like that. Okay, let's mess with the body a little bit here. That means that we are bringing Nick down. We're going over the top, relatively deep here, over the top. And then this is nearly to the shoulder and like so, nearly to the shoulder and like so. Over the top like so. Then we do not need to worry about spring this. Actually, I want to lift her head a little bit, although is that enough, Nick? We're looking down slightly on the whole beam. Actually, no, we want a bit more Nick there. We want her to actually have a visibly defined chest. So we'll go ahead and go This is seam into chest. How much? This is like loose. So I don't know how much we should actually bring this out, but let's just say we'll bring it out about there. Once again, a seam into keep this relatively loose, but we'll bring it down to the chest area. Just let this hang otherwise, because we're not loading up on the belts. This needs to go underneath, hang a little bit, pull it in, hang a little bit, pull it in. We want to go kind of across here. This goes in one way, then this goes in other way, and this is two straight bits here. We want to pop it out and then down a little, because we do need to account for her chest. A little bit here. I'll bring it out a little bit more. The one that just let us hang all the way down under the table is the hang. Just press it in against the front one. We have the little pocket here. This will actually be at a little bit of an angle because there's enough chest here to put this at an angle. So this is going out a little bit. Higher up? No. We want to define the shoulder a little bit more than what I have right now. Bring this over the top, like right about here instead. Bring this in a little bit so that we can define the shoulder a bit more. Shoulder. I don't want to bring her arms inwards. Kind of similar to what she's doing in this event still to begin with. Her uniform literally just hangs off her. I'm looking at it now without all the belts on it. Okay, we'll just let it hang off then. I'll just give it the a little bit of clearance for her breasts. So the important bit with her is that we want to have the lower arm of one side be more or less detachable so that I can do stuff with it, but that's what always pulls inwards, so just pull this way towards the way her arm is going. Want to just keep her arm below the table? Let's just keep her. Okay, let's mess with the expressions a little. Do we want to include the hand as part of this? The fun bit with raising her arm up is that this will create a spot where thumb on top, fingers below, knuckle towards camera. So ideally I don't want to turn the hand at any point so that palm faces camera. Well, regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and we want to like look down a little bit, right? Because we want to look at the table. We're looking at slanted eyes, but not very slanted. We'll just do a neutral face here. So like that. We'll just kind of flick out right about here. And we want to a little bit like that. Longer. That more towards the lash, and go like that. How do I feel about? Going to liberal this a little bit more. Whoa, the crayon. Not gonna flick it out quite as far. Gonna go ahead and go like that for now. I feel like I just should pull in a little bit more. Was a little bit. Then we want to have a arm, which is going to be variable. So we're just gonna miss the right lower arm a little bit here. I'm not going to be able to miss the arm today because there's no way I'm getting handed that quickly. Alright, let me give you my attention here if you're still in the Twitch chat there. Let me just take a look at the page again to see if I have all the links in there. I have a link. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Discord server link that I have that supposedly still works. And I'm going to add a banner. Actually, no, what can I do here? What's the easiest way to do? Well, it's not gonna have an image right now, but we're gonna add a panel in the banner for now, which yeah, it's just gonna be a bit raw right now, but we'll just put this in here. We'll go Discord server. Accessible image. Just do I need to just like put it into the description here? Let's just throw some random blurb in there. Okay, it's pretty ugly, but it'll do for now. I don't know if that comes up immediately, but there's now a Discord server link, which is my server, which will allow you to find me. But I don't know if there's a nicer way to reach people on Discord nowadays without the whole ID thing being shareable. I don't know when the actual thing comes up for the banner. Alright, but anyways, we'll finish up here for today. Add a mouth really quickly. Up in the nose real quick. Deal with the brow next time, but okay, so the goal for the week is to at least do the reach the lineup portion, the pieces portion, by Friday. Ideally, what I should have by the end of tomorrow is a basic rough for the 4 of them. In an ideal world, also the table. But right now, the table is just made up of a bunch of symmetrical shapes, which very vaguely represent, effectively, plates and the grill. The grill is in the middle there. But it is effectively Korean barbecue. We need to break up the symmetry on the table because symmetry is boring. And make it a little bit more chaotic, along with the plates also will need to have different things on it. Once again, I am not good at drawing food. It is going to look hideous, but I'm going to try my best. And the table is going to require a little bit of animation as well. Probably the grill at minimum, the water as well, and if I want to get really frisky, maybe like a little bit of a wobble on, like, I don't know, like a lettuce leaf or something. I don't know, maybe the aircon's on real strong. Just like give it a little bit of motion down there so it's not completely still. Actually, that's probably doesn't really matter if it's completely still, does it? Yeah, it probably doesn't matter. But as for what is happening up here right now, I need the varied number of expressions on Yukino, and I also need to figure out what to do with her arm. Because I think one pose is going to put her hand up to her mouth or her chin, and then I need to figure out what to do with that arm when it's not there. Given her pose, in theory, I should be able to lower her arm towards the table purely by merit of the fist will cover the opening of the sleeve as it comes down, and also the joint area between the upper and lower arm, so that it shouldn't look overly weird as it comes down, in theory. I don't know how well that's going to work, but that should technically work. And then as long as it doesn't reach a point where you're seeing the top of the sleeve and the hand, which you can do by just kind of keeping her arm like slightly up, it shouldn't cause any major problems, and it shouldn't require part swap outs or very meticulous control of the art meshes later, in theory. I don't do a whole lot of arm motion for a reason. It's because the moment the perspective on, or you're seeing a different side of an object, it gets really messy. Or just takes more work than is usually worth it. We'll see. Alright, so anyway, thank you very much for watching today's session of rough planning. If you want to see more of this, sure to be subscribed or following, depending on where you're watching from. Leave a like, cause it helps me out. I'll see you again next time.